Itchy leg.
Itchy leg, yeah.
Guys, it's Monday.
Monday! Just done our sprint planning, going on what we're doing this week. Again, a bit on every game for the most part, really. Yeah. So, still get some sword pages sent off for Hexseed, just get that wrapped up what I started last week. Then on Colour and Pixels, we have the DLC coming out this week, so we'll be finishing up the last few
levels.
Yeah,
we've got the fantasy pack and then probably doing a little bit of Skystead for the next one is yet to be
Not until Wednesday.
Not on Wednesday.
Skystead as well. We have a lot more stuff to do for that. We've got a lot more bug fixing, a lot more features to implement, and Laura's still working on a bunch of new assets to put in the game. And then we've got Cameron working on blue levels as well. So, as I said, a bit of every game.
Okay, so I've been stumped on this fantasy map image for a little while. I've actually been putting off for the past few days, and I've actually figured it out now. So my original intention for this was to make a sort of top-down dungeon map, as if you'd go with like a dungeon crawler. I wanted to stick with that theme. I'm trying to work things out, but I sort of left it down here on this sort of section here with this sort of style on this one here, and I really just didn't like it. It looked too plain, it looked very boring, the bricks didn't stand out, and I was trying to make a way for them to all blend together to make it a bit more natural. I just couldn't figure it out in the sort of perspective that it was in. However, with a bit more references and a bit more hard work, we've gotten this style here, which I'm really happy with. You can see the differences night and day. So I think the plan is now is I'm going to do this sort of style with the rest of the rooms and add a bit more flair to each one. So maybe add some crates and maybe some traps in each one to make it a bit more visually interesting. So it's sort of like a top-down map.
Okay, yeah, so just been working on some more Wooloop levels for the Landmark DLC that's coming out at the end of this month. We're working on the landmarks, and we're kind of, like I've mentioned last week, we don't want any from, too many from the same country. Yeah, my aim was to try and get one for every continent, so today I've kind of been working on ones for Africa because we didn't have many of them yet, or any of them I should say. So I decided to do the Sphinx, which is probably the most obvious one. I'm happy with how it turned out. It looks very muscly though. Yeah, maybe we can have a look at that when it comes to tidying them up and whatever. And then we'll also have Petra here, and yeah, this is a bit of a different one. I didn't want to go for the most obvious landmarks, but I wasn't really sure what to do for Africa. My thought was the Serengeti, just like the trees and whatnot, but ended up going for this instead because it's a little bit better than just a tree for like landmarks.
Hello, today I finished making this wooden wardrobe for the bedroom. When the house is ready, there'll be lots of furniture inside it, and this wooden wardrobe will be one of it. Well, if you can afford the wood and everything. I spent a long time texturizing the wardrobe because it has lots of posters that I hand painted, and small little details like the sock and the t-shirt and the little bear and a bag. It's a very cutesy and children room appropriate, I think.
So the mug arrived. All in all, looks quite good. The print's pretty decent. The only thing we have an issue with is the text again, similar to the poster. Looks a little bit blurry and also quite dark. So we're wondering if it's because the logo is put on the darker background. Because this Kitsu icon is quite bright and quite nice, but on this side the logo is quite dark. So we'll try and work something out for that. Get that sent off again, and yeah, we'll get another test one of this alongside the poster. See if we can get that looking good. So a few sort of admin tasks today. I've been going through the Hexseed DLC packs and getting them all updated with their descriptions. You can see they're all the ones in green, the localized versions as well. So yeah, they're going to be, I was just going through those one at a time, getting that ready. But a bit of a sidetrack, Rob's going ahead and getting the achievements ready for Epic, because we're trying to get the Epic store page ready. Because the launch didn't go as planned for Epic, because we weren't really sure what we were doing with it, to be brutally honest. So yeah, trying this new process of creating the achievements on Epic, which I've never done before, but it's pretty straightforward. We've got the ID there, which obviously I can't show you. Then it's just a case of putting in the correct icon, which let me check what's the next one. It would be button tail. And then obviously the locked icon as well, exactly the same as Steam. And then we have the actual descriptions down here. We have a bit of flavor text, which is optional. I'm not sure what that is. We tried looking on the Epic Games store page for various games. Nothing seems to have flavor text, so we're just going to leave it out as well. But yeah, that's pretty straightforward in terms of what we need to actually do to get those done. So I'm going to start going through all of these and getting all the names in, all the descriptions, and get them all ready. We do need localizing as well. That's something on Steam that we need to do as well. So hopefully Epic will accept it without localizing for now, and we'll come back through and localize them at that time as well.
Yeah, okay, so today, just been doing some more Wheel Loop levels again, helping with this Landmark DLC. So you can see the first one here, we've got another one from the UK because we won't have one so far. And I wanted to do one from the north where we are. So we have Stonehenge at the minute, and we're talking about doing Big Ben or something like that, but it's like then it would be 2 from the south, and I think Landmarks and that usually always do London, so we wanted to do something, you know, a bit close to us, so we've done the Angel of the North, which we're also in Gateshead, so yeah, it was kind of a nice one to do, and it hasn't, we haven't done it yet, so.
Okay, so I've managed to wrap up the Fantasy Maps DLC. I finished off the last 2 images today, and unfortunately they were bigger ones. I think I've done about 10 big ones back to back. I was hoping to do some smaller ones, but Lee and Rob did have some really good suggestions about the last 2, so I thought I'd just do them big anyway. So this is one of them. I went for a traditional sort of looking map. Wanted to try and incorporate a bit more of a traditional design in there. I think it looks pretty good. I had a bit of a frame to it, it looked a bit boring without it. I think it looks quite, I don't know, spacey I suppose, quite mystical, so I'm quite happy with it. As the last one that took the most of the day, it's this sort of D&D inspired sort of image, a bit of like a role-playing map. And this one took a while, like there's not really much shading there, it's just so much stuff in the scene, so like the little character icons, little enemy skeletons, and all the bits and bobs that make up the full scene. Definitely took a while to fill it all in. But overall I'm quite proud of this one, definitely a large image. It's about 326 by 154, so this one should take a while to colour in, but hopefully you enjoy it.
So I'm going through the fantasy maps pack that Jack's been working on, just sort of QA testing all the levels. So far there hasn't been that many fixes to make, other than a few like background changes to this puzzle level. I've got the number 2 there because on the original, if I can find it there, I've had this big background of just a plain colour essentially, so I've cropped the background out, that sort of stuff. The other one they say I haven't done yet is the space cruise ship. I think it says 337 by 233, which is very, very big. This is absolutely gigantic as a level. Most of it is this blue background as well, which is a bit too much. So I've gone ahead and on here, first thing I did was, what was the level? Here it is. I removed the background, and then it was still very large, so I've gone ahead and cropped off the bottom half. I'll try this, see if this feels alright. If it feels a bit too cut down, I'll put the bottom half back in. We do still have the original if we need it. Hopefully that isn't too bad. I do still need to put in the rest of the pictures. Jack has pushed them now so I can download them. So yeah, I'll upload the cropped version of this and along with the new pictures, and then finish up QA testing this book.
Today I made a bunk bed. It's still a blackout. I used the base of the first bed that I made. The frame is different, although quite similar I guess, but then it will have these little metal, what are they called? Screws, to make it more interesting. I guess I'll make the pattern of the bedding a little bit more interesting because the first bed was quite plain. I used Sims 4 as inspiration and as a reference because they have loads and loads of bunk beds, and I didn't quite know how to make one, but yeah, looking at Sims 4 beds was good. It was very helpful.
Okay, so now that the Fantasy Maps DLC has all been wrapped up, I've actually immediately went on to the next DLC, which will be the March one, which is Realistic 2. And I've never actually worked on a realistic pack, and this was before my time here at ToastieLabs. I think Rob worked on the first one. So this one's going to be a lot different from the traditional packs that I usually create, you know, when I hand draw them, where it's actually going to be a bit of a different process where I need to take an image or photograph that's obviously royalty free and sort of break it down into pixel the best way that I can. And I think I've found a pretty cool strategy that actually works out pretty well. So this is actually an image provided by one of our Discord members. It's a really stunning image that they've taken of a beach here with some pretty rocks in the background. It looks really nice. And I thought this image would quite work as the colours are sort of blocked out nicely. So here in Sprite, which is a pixel art program, what I do is that I go down to Sprite and I switch it to indexed so that it sort of breaks up the colours a bit. And then what I can do is I can make a new palette from the sprite, which is the image here on the right, and I can actually set the colour count. So if I set the colour to about, it's currently about 256, if I set it to about 20, this should break it down, then we'll remap it. And that sort of gives us, this breaks up the image into 20 colours, and then all I have to do really is essentially make the image a bit smaller. So if I divide this to about, divide it by 10, so that looks, that's looking pretty good. The only problem is that this is sort of the bare bones image that it gives to me. Everything is sort of messy. You can see things like this is fine where it sort of makes the reflection, but there's a lot of pixels in the random corners that are spread out that, you know, aren't really blocked together, which would be really frustrating to colour in. So after this step, I essentially go into paint.net here and break down the image myself. So as you can see here, I'm sort of looking around the image here for any colours that are sort of just separated. Things like up here where there's this one little colour that's away from the pack. So what I'll do is I'll just go in here and get rid of it. So what we'll do is we'll just colour drop this blue and colour that in, just so the colours are a bit more grouped together, and hopefully that'll make for a more interesting image. So it's a different process. It probably doesn't take as long as me drawing them handmade, but it's definitely a process that I need to be careful with and make sure it plays well. So hopefully I'm going to be testing them as I go through, and hopefully they'll play okay.
Today what's with the sirens? Today I made a block out for a hammock bed. I think this one is the one that Lee wanted in the game. Hammock beds are so fun, and it was fun making this one, and hopefully it'll be done tomorrow with another bed.
Okay, so we're actually making substantial progress with the Realistic 2 pack. Starting to get the hang of it now in terms of how to actually get them to work and look good. And I've actually gotten quite a few done. Yesterday I sort of just got my head down and got through quite a lot of them. So you can see here I've got about 11 done so far, and the colour counts are pretty decent. This one's the highest one, but I want to do another pass of this, so I could probably get this down a bit more. But as you can see, nothing really ranges outside of the 20 mark, which I'm quite happy with, because they need to keep that sort of realistic effect. And this one I'm working on now is the lantern one, which is still a little, I'm not sure. I think the colour count's fairly reasonable for the size of the image. So if you actually look at the image here in, is it Sprite? No, where is it? Let's open it in Paint real quick. You can see that the image actually maintains quite a lot of the sort of realistic look. So it's a light on a beach with a nice starry night in the background. I think it looks pretty good. Obviously I did it in Sprite first, broke it down to pixel art, and then I've went in myself and manually touched up a few bits. Now, unlike the last realistic pack that Rob did, I do want to add a bit of extra flair to it, and I'm thinking of adding a sort of frame along the edges here, maybe on a few of them, just to make them look a bit more, I don't know, a bit more locked in. But I'm going to experiment with that now on this one. So we'll quickly get this one done. So if I put it back in Sprite real quick, so what we can do here is that we can just sort of colour drop from maybe the starry night here. This green might look nice. And what I think I'll do is sort of how I do with a few of my actual hand-drawn images. I'll just draw in, I picked the wrong colour there. I'll just draw in a nice frame, just to try centre off the image a bit more. I'm not sure about the green, but you can sort of see what I'm going for here. I might actually go for a cream look. So let's try it again. So yeah, I think that looks quite nice. I think it kind of works for the image. So yeah, I think I might keep this like this. I'm going to put it back into Unity now and see if it looks okay in there.
Okay, so bit of a cast that's been overdue with all Skystead stuff coming out. Getting the next year of Hexed on Switch. I think it's year behind, year 4. I don't know. I haven't actually looked at the DLC stuff yet. I've just been trying to get it to run. So we've had a bit of an issue. It's fine, but basically we've had to update the Unity version to the 22 branch. It was on the 2020 branch. Anyway, it's just been a lot of faff because a lot of the localization tables and things like that were using an older SDK, and yeah, it needed updating. It need a lot of things need updating. A lot of code changes need to go on. But now we are running on Switch again, which is really good. Should be able to get this sent off. Probably not today, probably Monday now. But the hard bit of actually getting it running on Switch again is done. But yeah, there is a couple of changes that I did want to make though. So you see this bar at the top. I don't think it looks really good. It doesn't look very good at all, really. with this scroll bar going on here. We always like to have it so that there isn't a scroll bar at the top, but it's just because the sheer number of worlds we've got in the game now just means that there's going to be a scroll bar. So I have been quickly checking it on the PC version and sort of updating it. So I've been trying, basically just playing around to see if I can make it work better. So I've made these buttons smaller, and I've now done 2 rows all the way along now, whereas before it was like it alternated between 2 and then 1 with the hexagon format. This is looking alright. I think I can maybe tidy it up a bit more, but it is working now. I think it will need a bit more updating when we have all of the year 5 stuff coming forward, but yeah, it's a step in the right direction. And yeah, we're good at running, so I'll be just trying to get a build sorted for that now.
We're going.
Yeah, we're going.
Okay, cool. Yeah, make sure to check out all of the stuff that we've got coming up. We'll still be putting out patches for Skystead Ranch, so make sure you do check that out. We've got Hexseed on Switch, which I've been working on. That'll be out at some point. We've got Wooloop, it's the Landmarks DLC, that'll be coming out the week after this video comes out. Jack's been working on Current Pixels a lot, so he's got the realistic book coming out soon. We'll probably have the store page out for that because it's pretty much done, isn't it?
Yeah, it's done now,
yeah. Yeah, lots of stuff. Hexseed Year 5 will be coming out soon as well. Yeah, there's just a lot going on again. We're doing things.
We're doing things, yes. But yeah, thank you to all our Discord members, our Patreon members, everyone who watches and tunes into the YouTube videos and the streams every other week. And thank you to Rob's mum.
Yeah.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Laura's mum's never had one.
Thank you to Laura's mum.
Oh, thank you.
Don't know why about.